clear and has to understand the concept that if this is the case of nadis, now we have to look at next thing as we have been discussing, that we have, even though panchavayus, five vayus, namely prana, apana, udana, samana and vyana, we do have other five that also we have discussed 10. And interestingly also we discussed that after the death or departure of the body, so departure of the soul, what we call as death, still one pranavayu remains in the body. That's why after the departure, after the death of a person, still the body remains heat for some time. And interestingly, we also have discussed that a person do breathe. Very typical expression has been done here called that hakara, that is what we are here today. Hakarena bahiri yati, sakarena vishet punah, hansa hansa iti amum mantram jiva japati sarvada. Jiva, the individual, do chant. Here chanting is something very spontaneous, not putting effort. Says beautifully that jiva japati sarvada is all the time. And what is that japam? Hamsa hamsa. What is that hamsa? He says, hakarena bahir yati. Now the prana moves out of the body with the word ha. And whereas prana comes in through the word sa. Now this particularly, if you look at many people have given many types of descriptions as I look at that some places it has been highlighted. Hakara is called Purusha and Sakara is called Prakriti. Regarding this, a lot of descriptions are there, lot of philosophies also are built up. However, point we have to look at because our purpose is totally different here. So when Upanishad highlights, that's what you have to see where to give importance to what, not overstretching. So when he says that, look, that all the time the jiva, the individual, knowingly or unknowingly, do chant, or the chanting happens, better way to put, that is called hamsa hamsa. And because we do inhale, we do exhale. And it is something natural and spontaneous to all of us. Because if we exhale and we don't inhale, that means last breath for us. However, he says when this chanting takes place, that also we have discussed. How many times? He says beautifully, Shat ekani divaratto sahasrani ekavimshatihi etat sankhyannitam mantram jiva japati sarvada. Ajapa nama Gayatri yoginam mokshadasana. This is something very beautifully we have also discussed, that this Hamsa Hamsa mantra is something named as called Ajapa Gayatri. So Ajapa Gayatri, why it is called Ajapa Gayatri? Because you don't do japam consciously. It happens. That's why it is called as Ajapa. Because on this Ajapa mantra, because many people do talk, I remember in my childhood, in my youth, when I was exploring spirituality, I am using the word. Actually, I was very much confused with this word Ajapa. And I have asked many Swamijis, Sadhus, Babas, scholars. Everybody will say one thing. This is something called secret. Guhya Vidya. Okay, but I would like to know it. No, unless you are being initiated, you will not know. I am not telling you jokes. I have been frustrated like anything to know what is that Ajapa. However, when I really tried my best to know, All the time, only one point, one answer I got from them, that unless you are being initiated, you will not. Now, when I look at, honestly telling you, what is their secret? When the person does japa consciously, japa is because chanting, already we have seen jakara janma vicheda, pakara papanasana, janma karma haro yasmat, tasmad japa iti smudha. That is what called japa. When we consciously take up a given mantra, and we do dwell upon that mantra in different ways, whether it is loudly or slight lower voice, murmuring voice, so that one can listen to it, or chitajam, mentally. And we do decide for a length of time consciously without any break. Not like people go around and do mantra and hello, how are you? Then again chant. That's something ridiculous marketing. How? There we do put effort, but here something happens spontaneously. So when it is something happens spontaneously, we name it, we call it as Ajapa mantra. There are a lot of other things are there. This is here called Ajapa Gayatri. In fact, we'll be talking a little bit regarding this later on. Okay, just quickly I'm highlighting here why he highlights the word Gayatri here. Actually, we look at the Gayatri this way. That Gayatri is a chandas, means is a meter, which has got 3 lines. 8, 8, 8. Like if you look at Bhagavad Gita, which is common to understand. Bhagavad Gita has been written in 2 chandas. One is called Krishna, another one is called Anushtup. So you'll find in Bhagavad Gita like 16:16:32, 8:8 was Dharma Kshetre Kuru Kshetre 8. Samaveta 8. That means 16. First line 16, second line 16. And another is there called 11:11:22:22 44. That is how the Bhagavad Gita is completed. So it is being written in a meter format. So also Gayatri is a meter. If you look at popular Gayatri, I always name it as called popular Gayatri because that particular is called Savitri, that is Savita mantra. Savita means Lord Sun, Sun God. So because it is dedicated to Sun God, it's called Savitri mantra. However, being in the format of Gayatri is called as Gayatri. That's why each deity has got its own Gayatri mantra. That's why nowadays also people they make Gayatri mantras. Ridiculous to say. Many Swamijis also they have got their own Gayatri. And also some people Kafi, those who do Kafi also they have got a Kafi Gayatri. So if you chant Kafi or Gayatri, morning definitely you will get Kafi. And not only that, after the death, you will go to the heaven. There also morning, without any fail, hot coffee will be served. What else you need in life? Okay, making it lighter situation here. Anyone can create a Gayatri, we don't have anything to say. Here, this Gayatri, we use it this way very carefully. That Gayantam Trayatiti Gayatri. By repeating which, one is being protected. I'm just going that much, I'm not getting into too much here. Now, here something is happening. In fact, as long as this is happening, are you not being protected? If the breathing stops, where are you? So this is one way of looking at called Ajapa Gayatri. You don't consciously chant, something is happening spontaneously and you are being protected, you are alive. That you are being alive because of this hamsa, this inhalation, sorry, this exhalation and inhalation. And beautifully, indirectly how the scripture highlights. The scripture highlights starting from exhalation, not inhalation. That is what our life should be. In our day-to-day life, when we breathe, during breathing time, never give importance to inhalation. One must give importance to exhalation because more we exhale, definitely we'll be able to inhale. But if we more inhale, there is no guarantee that whether we'll be exhale properly or not. That's what my observation that I have noticed. But if we exhale completely, I'm sure we'll be able to inhale properly. So always the Shastra, the traditional approach is one point I'm taking at how the tradition goes here. Always a traditional approach on yoga is will highlight exhalation. That's why in our Yoga Vidya package, we do highlight that exhalation part, including Nadi Shuddhi. You might have noticed. When we do teach Nadi Shuddhi, first what we say? Exhale completely through your left nostril. Then start. We don't say no, okay, inhale. No, first we see to be exhale. However, so when he highlights this particular point that one need to, and what happens is, those who really do chant this Ajapa Gayatri mantra, what happens, how many times it is being chanted? We discussed already, 21,600 times. That means in a day, we do chant, means we do breathe. Our breathing is called 2100. 2100. I mean 21,600 times. I am making a mistake. 21,600 numbers breathing we do. Now the question, as we have also discussed, as per our yoga tradition, that we get life, our lifespan always is being measured based on breathings, number of breathings, nothing else. If we breathe slowly, our lifespan will increase. If we breathe very shallow breathing, short breathing, definitely our lifespan will decrease. That's why any creature, those who breathe faster, quicker, they do die first. And any creature or any being breathe slowly, they live long, like tortoise and horse. Both examples you can look at. Horse breathes very fast, whereas tortoise breathes very slow. And here, the one actually who is aware of this Ajapa mantra, this continuous process, that person actually is a free person or will become a free person. We will see this particular point a little bit elaborately. Says that because yogina mokshada sada, those who are really aware of this, they do enjoy the freedom within. How is it possible? Let us look at as he talks. Asyaha sankalpa matrena sarva papehi pramuchyate anaya sadrushi vidya anaya sadrushi japah anaya sadrusham jnanam na bhutam na bhavishyati. Talks about this knowledge, that this is something actually once the person makes a resolution and starts contemplating on this aspect, sarva papehi pramuchyate, the person becomes free from all sort of omissions and commissions. Most important aspect to notice here. Okay, then not only that, it's the praise also. Anaya sadrishi vidya, anaya sadrishi japa. There is no, there will be no other vidya knowledge which is really higher than or greater than this for the sake of doing japa or from the standpoint of knowledge. Means there is no superior mantra. This is just a phrase, but which has got meaning. We say stuti. Stuti means anytime there is a praising, it is allowed in scripture that they can do little bit more. Like for example, you want to praise somebody, or any guest comes to your house, even if you know the guest is stupid, but will you say stupid? Not allowed. This guest is a guest. Hello, how are you? You are so great. But deep within you know you are stupid. So you cannot say stupid, but at the same time you have to appreciate. So as it happens in our common living, so also while praising the text, we have got tried to praise as much as possible without bringing down any other text. That is the most important aspect. But it is not like just example what I gave here. It's something really we have to look at. Why he says this thing? Just by contemplating, by dwelling upon sankalpa, by committing oneself, sankalpa means here, by committing oneself, that's why this is called sankalpa. You make a strong resolution. So when you get committed to this mantra, there is no omission and commission. The person becomes free from omission and commission. That's not papa, not see. Here I use to put the word very carefully, omission and commission. How is it possible? Because when we chant or when the chanting is happening within us, that's the big lam, and we need to be aware of it. In each exhalation, I know I am exhaling, and in and every inhalation, I am also aware of it. Now, if this is the case, can I make any mistake in my life? Impossible. If each of my breathing, literally, for example, if I judge Ashtabhya, that's very nicely they say, the story of Eknath, Sant Eknath regarding this comes beautifully actually. That great Sant Eknath always was very calm and quiet, and people used to really praise him. One day, one person went to him and asked him, "Oh, you are so calm and quiet, but I do get angry, very angry person. Will you please tell me some secret or teach me some type of tricks so that I'll be able to get rid of the anger?" So naturally, yeah, I can, but today I don't think it's possible. Do one thing, come after 7 days. Because that day, great son Eknath, he understood this fellow is not that sincere. Out of curiosity, let him be sincere. That is not the part of the teaching. If the person is asking something curiously, you just ignore or get as much as time possible. If the person goes away on side, it's better for you. Whereas if the person comes back, that means really genuine person. Or else what will happen? It's like putting the seed on the ground. If the ground is not ready, what will happen to the seed? Either it may not germinate, or if it germinates, the plant will not be that strong and will create bad seeds. That's dangerous. It's better not to put seed than putting seed in the wrong place. Better not to teach than teaching to wrong people. That's what slowly I am coming to this point. However, Sant Eknath managed. Then after 7 days, this person was really serious, came back with seriousness, listening to willing to listen to him. Okay, please tell me. But that day, Sant Eknath was very serious. Its face was very different. What is happening? If you don't mind, can you go up? Go, please. No, you are sleeping. Because sitting in the front, sleeping is not allowed. Well, I will sleep. What is the harm? So here, what happened to this person seeing this great song? What happened? Why are you so serious? He said, look, I can visualize, but one small secret thing is that really, and I'm serious about it. Forget about other things. But don't tell anyone. Yes, I promise. Now I'm able to say. that within 7 days we are going to die. What? Yes, that's why I'm very upset. I don't know how to convey to you. So don't inform me. 7 days. And some great person says, this person took it very seriously. Oh, now goes to the house. But doesn't talk to anybody. And all the time he was counting the days. Now while counting the days, people they do talk as usual. In fact, many unwanted situation came, but he was very happily accepting everyone. Going to talk to wife. Wife was so angry for something, made lot of mistakes. It's okay, don't worry. Children also meant it's okay. Everything, what is happening? Suddenly this person has changed. Is he okay? Everything is takes very nicely, but however it's good, are they allowed? Just 7 days got over. The day 7 days got over, morning gets up and he literally pinches himself. Is he okay or not? He says, "Oh, I'm alive still." And ask his wife, "Hey, look, am I alive or not?" "What are you talking? What are you asking?" "Of course you are alive." Without talking much, the family runs to meet great son, great sales. Then, as usual, Eknath was busy in some other way. No, no, then he comes and says, "You told a lie in front of everybody. You told a lie. I never expected from such a great person to listen to a lie. See, you said that within 7 days you are going to die. But look, I am alive today. How is it possible?" Then Eknath just asked, "True. But I would like to know, within the 7 days, have you ever or did you get angry? What are you talking about?" "Yes, I would like to know. How do you think that I'll get angry? Because after all 7 days I am going to be alive, even if whatever, let me be good with everybody. That's why I tried my best and I was successful." That time, great saint said, "Look, you by just by counting the days, you didn't do any mistake, you didn't get angry, you did not do anything wrong. But I am so at least you knew that you are going to die after 7 days. But I am not sure that whether I am going to be alive next moment or not. And I am aware of it. Each of my breathing, I am aware of it. I do count my breathing. You just counted by counting days. You didn't do any mistake. You did not do anything wrong. When I am counting my breathing, will I do any mistake? Will I do anything wrong?" That is what is being highlighted here. If we are conscious of our breathing, that in each and every exhalation and inhalation, there will be no omission and commission. Definitely the person will be free from it. And moreover, when we look at this particular point, this is what happens. His mind is something like glosses over things. Anything. And mind is very smart. Always like mind is monkey. I do not know whether you have observed or not. Recently I came across one monkey video and a photo. In fact, I put it that photo. The monkey observes that a few children are drinking Coca-Cola, and they kept another bucket behind. Now monkey comes quickly, very carefully. You know how monkey comes, you will not know. Comes and picks that bucket. And they look at bar and goes out. See, monkey has observed from a distance that these fellows are drinking Coca-Cola. Now, but monkey has not observed how they open it. Just look at how the mind glosses over things. Just I am trying to explain that particular incident. So what does the monkey do? Knows things, but at the same time do not know. Now opens up. Now, while trying to open, doesn't know what to do. Put the teeth under the break, this, that. Doesn't happen. Does this, that. Because had the monkey known the way of opening, would have been easier. Then finally, gets fed up with it. And while hitting, the bottle falls down. And because I had two photos of this. And another monkey observes and carefully takes a half bottle. Takes a half bottle, not full bottle. Somebody is drinking, is kept, takes away and opens up and drinks while drinking because it has to be higher, cannot lift so heavy. Keeps one leg up. So that through the leg, the bottle is up and drinks. See, what I am trying to say is, like how the monkey does, if you observe the monkey, mind is exactly like monkey. Monkey, as it is being engaged and is really feels that I am doing something sensible, but the onlooker knows whether monkey is really sensible or doing something or not. Just entertainment, joke. Sometimes we do in our typical life. Because we are not conscious of our breathing. I have noticed myself. This is my personal observation about me. The moment I take things for granted, whenever I make mistake, a small thing, this is my personal observation. Whether anybody makes no difference. That's why I try my best. Whether any relationship, whether the teacher-student relationship, I'm talking about one of the best relationships, whether mother and child relationship, equally good, or any other relationship, little bit we take for things granted, take the person for granted, definitely we'll make mistake. Because mind is something to gloss over. Because I have gone through, that's what I do try my best to rectify. That's what life is. Because this is something very clear and careful for all of us. That any time if we are really conscious, especially conscious of breathing, I'm sure what japa, what anything is required. Just that is what is being highlighted. However, then it says next that gives the hint of Kundalini. It says Kundalinyam Samudbhuta Gayatri Pranadharini Pranavidya Mahavidya Yastam Veti Savedavid. It says that look, Gayatri Samudbhuta Kundalinya. So Gayatri is something has been originated from Kundalini. So what is Kundalini? Don't ask me, okay? We'll be seeing. And again he says, look, and this is something Pranadharini, which sustains the prana, the life force, the vital energy. And that is what called Prana Vidya. Also is called as Mahavidya. This Kundalini concept is called Prana Vidya and named as Mahavidya. Yastam Veti Savedavid, the one who knows this is knower of Veda, or you can say knower, or a knowledgeable person. Now, if this is the case, then you may ask the question, what is this Kundalini? How does it work? Is it really there or not? Before getting into Kundalini, just a few lines I would like to say quickly. Kundalini, I use the word very carefully to my knowledge. But openly I say, I am sure, okay, I am using the word, that my Kundalini is not being raised. Raised. If my Kundalini, some people they say my Kundalini is being raised. When I get angry and shout at others. However, what I am trying to highlight here is Kundalini is a hook in yoga philosophy or in yoga industry. The word Kundalini is a hook to attract people in yoga industry. More the person uses the word Kundalini, more people will get attracted. But I am not here to say that there is no yoga Kundalini or not, because definitely there is some Kundalini. Okay, we are not denying that fact at all. We cannot. This is not right either. But the way it has been publicized, the way it has been highlighted is humbug. And interestingly, as I look at first market yoga industries, they like if you if you listen to one Kundalini fellow, you will be convinced. I'm sure. If you do not know anything else, if you talk to first Kundalini fellow, I'm sure you'll be convinced. By chance, if you make a mistake, talk to another fellow, you'll be confused. And if you talk third one, you'll be disturbed. And if you talk fourth one or more number of that, you'll get depressed. Why did I waste my time? This is what exactly happens with Kundalini. There is no consistency at all. Each one do talk differently. Interestingly, when you look at the classical texts, they do talk also differently. That means it is clear if the classical text they do talk differently, that means that is not the purpose of teaching. That's very clear. Because like for example in our teaching, we don't not talk much about the origin of the creation, how this creation comes. Whether it happened overnight or it took 7 days, then after 7 days God wanted to take rest. So that's a holiday. We never talk. In fact, even though Upanishad highlights in few places, few occasions, like let us say Taittiriya Upanishad, and of course in Tattva we have seen, like Akasat Vayu, Vayu Apo, like from the space comes air, from air, fire, water, fire. Actually, that's not the purpose of the teaching at all. Just to make sure not you should not have any confusion or no curiosity should be there. Just to give some brief idea, it has been discussed, because in some other places it has been discussed differently. Because the purpose is not how the creation has come. It's like as long as you are in your dream world, will you be able to understand how did that dream came? When did it come? It's impossible. Unless you get out of the dream, you will not know. And once you get out of the dream, is it necessary for you to analyze? You take the reference, maybe you can study. Why you to waste, like all these dream people, they waste their time. Nothing wrong with it if you are looking at to explore, to see your subconscious mind is different. But how the people waste their time? However, as long as we are in this creation, it is almost impossible to know how the creation has come. Whether we name it Darwin theory, just I am trying to say scientifically, whether it is Darwin theory or Big Bang theory, I am not supporting anybody here, please. Because once upon a time, Darwin theory was ultimate. Now, when we look at Darwin theory, it doesn't exist anywhere now, because Big Bang theory is taking over. But to my knowledge, it is really useless unless I want to get a PhD or Nobel Prize. Start with PhD, then slowly Nobel Prize. Because when we are inside this creation, it's almost impossible to know how the creation has come. That is what the teaching is. So also here, the yoga, especially classical text, is not interested much in Kundalini. It is saying how it will create, so a little bit and gloss over. And I will be doing the same thing, okay? How it is, let us look at. He says, Kandurdhe Kundali Satya Ashtadha Kundala Kriti Brahmadvara Mukham Nityam Mukhena Achadya Tishtati. Now this Kundalini is having 8 coils and is located above Kanda that we have discussed already. It closes, if you look at Brahmadhara Mukham Nityam. Now there is something called Brahmadwara, and the Kundalini has got its mouth over there. So you can understand how is it. So what is Brahmadwara? You ask the question. Where is Brahmadwara? We say Brahmarandra or Brahmadwara, both are one answer. Actually, it's very nice to watch. I don't know whether you have watched or not, because I have watched very carefully. A child. It's really nice. That particular thing will be very soft, and if you put the hand, some like duck 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 duck, something will be going on, and it's really nice. And to watch that, something is really good. Actually, breathing happens to that. We'll be saying little bit regarding that, and that is what the trick of pranayama. All this, whatever we are doing, this is gross. This is called breathing exercise. The real pranayama starts from there. However, in this thing, actually, regarding this, if you look at whether it's 8 coils or like some other text they do talk, there are 3.5 coils. Okay, this Kundalini, here it talks 8 coils based on this text. In fact, I am looking at, there is I'm looking at somewhere I have seen, okay, I'll give the reference little later on, that another text highlights that there is, to my knowledge, Giranda Samhita. Yeah, Giranda Samhita. Giranda Samhita highlights there is 3.5 coils. And nicely on one thing, recollect. So Giranda Samhita says 3.5 coils and explains, gives certain logic for 3.5 coils. 3 coils stands for 3 states, and very nicely, sorry, I made a mistake. 3 coils stands for 3 gunas: sattva, rajas, and tamas. Sattvic aspect, rajasic aspect, and tamasic aspect. And the last one, sorry, the half coil, not the last, the half coil represents sleep, susupti. That is what being discussed in Ganada Samhita. Now you can see the how the classical text changes. However, because this is what, but he says, look, what is the purpose here? He says, Yena dvarena kantavyam brahmadvaram anamayam mukhyena achadya tadvaram prasuta parameshwari. Actually, this is something again wrongly misunderstood. It will be talking. If anybody passes through this Brahmadvara, the prana goes out through this Brahmadvara or Brahmarandra, definitely that person is something will discover no more person will be coming back, no life and death. And interestingly says that this door is being covered by, protected by, just 1 minute, just let me look at my translation here, because I'm a little bit. Yeah. So very nicely, this if you look at this particular thing, what happens is always asleep, because this goddess Kundalini is being highlighted, because but that's why I'm looking at translation. When I have spent time, better to refer that. That this goddess Kundalini is always like okay, it's like always lies asleep. And what is happening? Having covered the door, through which individual has to reach the Brahmadvara. And always this Lord its own mouth. Now the problem is here. That means the kundali or kundalini is something doesn't allow person to breathe through Brahman. Get the point? How it goes. Kundalini, the goddess, the supreme god or the supreme goddess lies or its mouth is on the, let us say, the kundalini, whatever is being highlighted here. And because this kundalini is always lies down, asleep, doesn't allow the person to breathe through that. That's why the breathing happens underneath. Now, okay, if this is the case, how is it possible? Because I am trying to bring the practice. In fact, the whole purpose of teaching is not to talk on kundalini at all. It will be literally diverting. He gives the hint and goes. Next he highlights Prabuddha Bandhi Yogena. Then okay, how to go about it? Prabuddha Bandhi Yogena Manasa Maruta Saha Suchivat Gatram Adaya Brajati Urdham Susumnaya. Okay, this kundalini is something, if it is sleeping, you need to wake it up. How to wake? Her up or it up or him up. Okay, how to do it? He says, you need united force. If it is united force, what are they? He says that Bandhi again, you are not united. Bandhi, Marut and Manas. You need the united force of fire, air and mind. And once you make this runs upward through the Susumna, then what will happen? Your subtle body, making its subtle body like a needle, then automatically Kundalini has to wake. That means we need to highlight these three things. This is the most important thing. That it's very simple. Through it will be talking actually. How to go about it, it will talk. I don't want to talk. Because if I talk something which is wrong, the text itself will talk. We need to highlight three things. That air, fire and mind. These three things to be united. And when these three things are being united, automatically Kundalini has to wake up. And how is it? It says again next says, Udghatet kapatam tu yatha kunchikaya gruham Kundalinya tatha yogi mokshadvaram pravedayat. If you look at, if the person opens the door of a log house with a key, what happens? How the person feels very happy and excited. A room is being locked for a long time. You are trying your level best to open it, but you do not succeed. And suddenly you get the key without much effort. You just open and you enter your desired room. How you feel? Souls in the same way the yogi opens the door of the freedom with the help of Kundalini. So whole process of Kundalini is nothing, again, our tendencies, which is always sleeps. That's what I put it in different ways, like a monkey glossing over, taking for granted. All these things can be called as a Kundalini. We're just giving little bit connection here and there. And finally says, okay, if this is the case, how to go about it? Because little bit I should talk about this, going about how to make that Kundalini up. This is very beautiful. These are the practices highlights. Krutva samputito karo drudhataram badhvatu padmasanam gadham vakshasi sannidhaya jivukam dhyanam cha tatyashtitam baram baram apana buddham anilam procharayati puritam uchyan pranam upeti bodham atulam shakti prahavat naraham. Samputito karo. folding both hands. Then Drudhataram Vadhatu Padmasanam, being seated firmly in the lotus posture. So in asana time, this particular text didn't highlight much asanas. Only it highlighted Padmasana and Siddhasana. Now he gives the clue here, Padmasana. Because the text is not interested to teach you asana. That is a very clear thing. However, secondly, says that Gadam Bakshasi Sannidhaya Chivukam Dhyanam Chat Tattishtitam. You have to place the chin in the chest. What we say? Jalandharavanna. So the bandha comes. Then what happens? Now the person has to start what? Dhyanam Jatat Chestitam. Starts meditating as desired. And then what he does? Baram Baram Opanam Urdham Anilam Pulcharayat. Again and again. That is what the person again and again thereafter what is has to bring up drags of the Apana by. Because as we have discussed already this bit, I am just going little bit away. In our body, prana and apana each other pulls each other. When prana wants to go up, apana brings it down. Like the face is exactly like this. Now apana starts pulling down, prana pulls up. And this is what constantly going, and they agree to disagree with each other. And if they agree to agree each other, then the death takes place. When both of them agree together, then they leave the world. Thank God they don't agree with each other. That already we have discussed previously. Now, if this is the case, then what happens? Now, whatever effort we are putting, like always we go through the cycle. I would rather say always like peaks. Little bit up and goes up. Again, prana goes up, apana pulls down. We are little high. And fluctuation is so much. That's why if anybody's life fluctuation is more, that person cannot practice yoga. Will not be accepted. If the person's mood, the fluctuation is very high, frequent, will not be successful in practicing yoga. Because we need steady personality. Because we'll be seeing this particular point very carefully some other time. Because when this prana and apana goes, because I have been watching, many people they do get excited for small things. And as I have noticed, this is my personal observation. When we get excited with small things, also we'll get depressed with small things if that doesn't happen according to our views. So our policy is, even if we get the best thing, we need not get elated, we need to acknowledge. Even if worst thing happens, we don't have to get depressed, also we need to acknowledge. So practicing yoga helps us not to jump. Jumping has to come down in life. So more my jumping comes down, more I am a mature person, more I am practicing yoga. That is what being very carefully highlighted. However, here it says, when the person does what happens? Baram, because apana is something, what it does, a very peculiar thing does apana. Whenever apana is active, or you can say strong, brings down the prana. Then you will feel like leaning upon somebody. You will feel like to be taken care. really you can observe. Whenever you want to be taken care by somebody, somebody should take care of me. Somebody should say, that time your apana is down. I'm giving you a few tips how to understand the apana. When apana is active, that means you have to be careful. Do something, bring up your apana wife. Because the our yoga practices never say that you have to make your prana up. Don't. Here, you can say typical, this is called attitude. See, if there are holes in the pot, don't fill the water. It's wasting time. Now you need to fill or you have to close the holes. If the holes are being closed, automatically whatever water is there, it will remain. Or you can pour some more water. But without taking care of the holes, if we keep filling it, what will happen? In fact, the hole will be bigger day by day. So also here says beautifully that you don't have to increase your prana. Don't practice something through that you will be improving your prana. These are wrong practices, wrong techniques. But you have to bring your apana up. Pull the apana up. That is what he says, that baram baram apanam urdham. Bring the apanam up. Because once I bring the apanam up, automatically prana goes up. I don't have, because prana is not falling down. But what happens if I put the effort to make my prana up, not taking care of the apana aspect, then what will happen is, when apana will go down, it will really bring down my prana too. Then there will not be steady growth. That's why the fluctuation will take place. That's why I have seen any yogis, great yogis, when they fall very badly. Like falling from the mountain. That happens. So here he says that, and not only that, looking at this thing, the moment you have to do the excel, during exhalation time, you will discover that when you try to bring your apana up, and especially during or after exhaling, when you try again inhale, feel the prana vibe, and in each feeling time, definitely the person feels, says that bodham atulam saktim pravahat nara. The person will definitely feel very happy, and lot of inner strength will be there. And of course, the person will be very bright. And that's what practices he highlights. And okay, why all these things? Okay, when the person does all these things, what happens? He says, look, with this we'll be stopping today. Maybe 1 hour maximum. Anganam mardanam kutva, nothing much. Shrama sanjata varina, kattu, amla, lavana tyagi, kshira bhojanam acharat, comes lifestyle. Because he started with Sadanga, 6 limbs, and highlights in general that main 2 things which has been contributed by Patanjali, Niyama and Niyama. Says, having what he does, because when the person does this thing, makes the apana vayu up and down, definitely the person will have sweat. So says that whatever sweat comes out, that sweat has to be again massaged in the body. Don't allow the sweat to dry up. It should be massaged in the body itself. Having massaged the limb, and that's whatever sweat is being produced by these practices. Now, the practitioner should have food like with milk or milk product. Definitely not bitter, not sour, not salt, or not spicy. These are the food are not allowed. no bitter, no sour, no salt, no spice. Sweet. Because then it will disturb. Why? Actually, it disturbs a lot. Because these are the things bitter, sour, salt, and spicy makes apana active. And if apana is being activated, automatically what will happen? It will be difficult to bring it up because you have to put more effort. So just to make sure that don't take the food through which the apana will be more active. That's the main purpose, nothing else. Then he says, then how about it? He gives beautifully. Brahmachari mitahari yogi yoga parayana abdat urdham bhavet siddha natra karya vicharana. The yogi, the person who practices yoga regularly with sincerity, yoga parayana with sincerity, and how it is? Mitahari, ahara should be mita, having light food and observing very nicely says observing celibacy for a says like abdat urdham bhavet, just for even if more than 1 year, just for a year, and practices all these things, will be a master. And in this natra karya vicharana, there is no doubt in it. Now the question arises here. Actually, what is called mitahara means light food. Because some people I remember when we are studying, that time nicely said he was like putting on and on. So I say, why don't you do exercise? What is this? He said, look, every day I do exercise. But 3 times I do exercise. And you do at least more than 1 hour, 1.5 hours I do exercise. How is it possible? Look, morning breakfast time I do exercise. I sit down and eat. Lunch time I do exercise. And evening time and dinner time also I do exercise. This is the minimum thing. He said, minimum 3 times I do exercise. And limit me is there, okay? And how do you say that I am not doing exercise? Is it that? No. But here it says, what is the mitahara? Because a lot of points are there regarding mitahara. Actually, very nicely it has been highlighted. As per the rule, when we are eating food, we have to make sure that half stomach to be filled, the amount, and 25% goes for water, and always 25% remains empty for the air circulation. But when good food comes, we will not be able to move. That's why after a heavy food, what happens to all of us? Our apana becomes more active or not? You can observe this small thing. And moreover, as I noticed, because now medical science is coming up very well for this regard, because without those things, nothing. As they say, almost 60% of the total energy is being wasted in digesting food. That's why those who eat more, they are not productive. Those who eat less, they are more productive.